All right, the chances are you're feeling some form of what they call imposter syndrome. This is a big spooky word that goes around in the entrepreneurship world, but I want to show you something that changed the way I view imposter syndrome forever and honestly cured it for me. And now I actually want to feel it. I know it sounds crazy, but let me explain. You see, if you're not feeling some form of imposter syndrome, you're probably not doing something right because you should be learning. You should be pushing your edge. And what I want to show you is a simple way to look at this that's going to make it all make sense to you. And you're going to be like, oh, I get it. I shouldn't be scared of imposter syndrome. And here's what I do to overcome it and hit that next level. So this is what I call the authenticity staircase. Forgive my terrible drawings, but this changed the way I see imposter syndrome and honestly making progress in general. So, in case you don't know, authenticity is the most powerful force you can give off. People have a very, very attuned receptor to whether someone's being authentic or not. So, if you're faking it, if you're not doing something you normally do, if you're being, just someone else, people can feel that and it turns them off from whatever you're trying to do. And this is why we love actors so much and good whenever you see a bad actor, you're like, wow, I forgot how good normal actors are because this actor is terrible. And people can feel that. And so right now I'm trying to be super authentic with these raw videos. That's why there is no editing. That's why the thumbnail and title is just me freaking around. That's why I draw on these things is I'm being authentic. But how are you supposed to push yourself and do something you've never done before and still be authentic? And I like to pose the thing that you can't. When you're first starting, you can't. And that's where you're feeling that imposter syndrome. You see, in my program, Copy Elite, I teach copywriters how to get clients, how to make money, all this stuff, not a sales pitch. But we have a loom system where they have to send looms for outreach. And it works incredibly well. But at the start, everyone struggles with it. Why? Because they've never sent looms before. A lot of these guys have never spoken on camera to cold prospects ever. And so they're starting here at zero. They have no skill and they have no authenticity. But here's where the magic happens. The first step is their authenticity goes down. So you start trying something new. You're sending looms. Let's say you start making YouTube videos. But the issue is you've never made YouTube videos before. So it doesn't feel authentic to you because you've never done it. Why should it feel authentic? And so your authenticity is lower and you have no skill to begin with. So now you have zero authenticity, zero skill. You're at that bottom floor of the staircase. But as you do more reps, you're gaining skill. The only problem is your authenticity is still zero because it feels weird to you. But after enough reps, enough times, you become in your brain someone who makes YouTube videos. And you'll probably have this moment where you've gone through so many tactics. You tried so many tips. You've tried all these things. You've watched so many videos on how to do stuff, how to do outreach or YouTube, where you give up, per se. And that's when your authenticity comes back. And you think by you giving up, you lost that skill, but you didn't. You just stopped doing things the way everyone else is doing it, meaning you started to become authentic again. A prime example are these videos. I don't know anybody making videos like these. I'm sure there's people out there. But I tried to do the editing. I tried to do this. I tried to do the whiteboard. Frick it. I just gave up. And I started making these things again the way I want to make them. But here's the cool part. That skill that I gained from months of trying things other people's way and doing the best way to do videos, it didn't go away. And so now my titles are way better than they ever were a year ago. My intros are better. The way I speak is better. But now my authenticity is back. And so if we go back to the staircase, you can see what happened. Boom, your results shoot up. So at the start, you lose authenticity because you feel that imposter syndrome. You're trying something brand new. Why should it feel normal to you? It's new. You've never done it before. And as you're trying it, you're gaining skill slowly. But your authenticity is still not there, meaning the results don't happen because people are very, very receptive to authenticity. And then what happens is you eventually give up or just say, frick it, you try something your own way, but you still have that skill and now you added back that authenticity and you leveled up. And then the same thing happens again. Let's say like this, go for the YouTube example. Now let's say I want to work on thumbnails. And so I go through, I try to make these perfect design thumbnails. I try to use tricks and hooks and all this crazy stuff to get you to click, and I get nowhere because my authenticity is not there. I'm just copying people's tactics. But then I give up on doing those thumbnails, but my skill is still there. I still understand what makes a good thumbnail. Now I'm just doing it my way, and then boom, it shoots up my results. And this is not like, this obviously doesn't happen exactly like this, but this is how people get results in the real world. And so if you're feeling that imposter syndrome, good. Pat yourself on the back, because that means you're gaining skill. You're trying something new. And most people don't believe they can change. And because of that belief, they never try anything new. And then they stay where they're at. And so if you're not feeling imposter syndrome, then you're probably not doing something right. But just know it's not a bad thing and it will go away, but you need reps. You need more time putting in that skill that you're trying to learn. And after a while, it will become part of you. In middle school, I was overweight. I never talked to anyone, and I was always someone like behind the camera. I liked cameras, but I hated being on camera. I wanted to be behind it. I wanted to be editing the videos. So if you would have told me that I would be speaking every single day, trying to influence people in front of a camera, I would have been like, no, who do you think you're talking to? But now this feels like my life. People can't imagine me not making YouTube videos. Is it because my internal being like changed? No, I just made a lot of videos and now I like it. I love it. It's part of my like identity, making videos. And if you want to get good at outreach, if you want to run a business, if you want to get good at some skill like, I don't know, maybe soccer or sports or carpentry or singing, whatever it is, you have to go through these bumps of imposter syndrome, wait for your authenticity to come back because your skills become part of you and hit that next level. And a prime example, this is really embarrassing, but I used to be a rapper. Yeah, can you believe that? I mean, look at me. All right, I'll tell you. You guys are going to ask for it, so I'll tell you anyway. But I used to be a rapper, and when I first started, it was the most embarrassing crap you've ever heard in your life. I mean, like, the whitest of white kids, didn't grow up in the hood. I mean, I grew up poor, but I grew up, like, in the sticks, so it doesn't really count. I don't know why I decided to rap, but I did, okay? And I made, like, hundreds of songs. And I kid you not, the first 200 were absolutely terrible, not worth listening to. But over time, I got over the fear of being inauthentic or whatever, and I just started making music. And one of my songs hit like close to 10,000 plays on Spotify, made a couple $100. Now that's not good by any means, but like compared to the average SoundCloud rapper who starts out, that's actually exceptional. If any of you guys have tried rapping. My name was KJAE, and the song was called Way Up, if you really care enough to. Anyway, warning, it's not great. But all I'm saying is, like, I hit that first level on the staircase on something that I should have never, ever been able to hit, right? I had no business ever being a rapper, but I still got that first bump. I got 10,000 plays on a song on a streaming platform, which is crazy. All because the reps. I put in a lot of reps. I sounded very inauthentic, insane imposter syndrome. And then eventually one day I just said, frick it, and just did something that I loved. But all that skill that I'd gained did not go away. Once my authenticity returned, it was like magic, right? My authenticity came back after I had the skill. The skill didn't go away, and I made the song that was decent. And so this is the secret to getting insane progress. And what's cool is I'm living this right now. So you might not can hear it over like the microphone or whatever, but I'm speaking way louder than I would ever talk in real life. I've always been someone who speaks very softly. I was super insecure as a kid, so I would never speak up, right? But I'm trying to do this. And right now, it's still inauthentic. This is not how I normally talk. And so if you're seeing this video live, watch a video like a year from now or 6 months from now and see if I don't feel way more natural talking this loud. And I'll probably have more views because I'll be a lot more authentic. So yeah, hopefully this helps you guys. If you want to see more videos on beliefs and skills, I'll put up one of the playlists right here. The whole goal of this channel is to help you make your first $1,000 online. And I do that by giving you 3 buckets. So skills, beliefs, and getting clients. Those are really the 3 things you should focus on to easily make your first 1K online. I've seen it happen to hundreds of people. You can do it too. But whatever you feel like you're lacking the most, click that playlist in the description or the comments and binge it. It helps me on YouTube, and also it's going to help you, because one 10-minute video is not going to change your life. But one 10-minute video every day for like 6 months will change the way you think, changing the way you act, and giving you insane results. That's why I make these videos the way that I make them. So hopefully this helps. Love you guys. See you later.